Netflix, Hulu, Xfinity On Demand, and award-winning dramas has some critics saying we're in the third golden age of television. I absolutely agree with them, but first we need to see how we got here. First golden age came just 10 years after the invention of television. The reason why television peaked during this time was due mostly to anthology series. Anthologies were live 90-minute dramas that aired weekly. They descended from theater, giving them Broadway-based production values. Having this background allowed them to convey a real sense of emotion with close-up shots and making the drama as if it was in real time. The dramas were based on events that could take place in real life, like alcoholism, loneliness, and a hung jury. A great example of this is the anthology Marty, a bachelor butcher who still lives with his mother, who desperately wants him to settle down and have children, but Marty thinks he'll never find love.
No, Ma, I don't want to go to Stardust Ballroom because all that ever happened to me there was girls made me feel like I was a bug. I got feelings, you know. I had enough pain. I'm going to stay home tonight and watch the hit parade.
You're gonna die without a son.
So I'll die without a son.
Oh, Marty, put on the blue suit, huh?
Blue suit, gray suit. I'm just a fat little man, a fat, ugly man.
You're not ugly.
I'm ugly.
Marty.
Ma, leave me alone!
The second age came almost 40 years later in the early 80s with the invention of handheld cameras. Now shows could be shot on location and not in the studio. This gave a more realistic feel to the storyline and got the audience more involved, as if they were there. Law enforcement dramas were the most popular at this time with shows like Hill Street Blues and NYPD Blue. They had characters with complicated personal lives, multiple plots in the narrative, and overlapping dialogue. They also added violence and nudity into the shows. Here's a clip from Hill Street Blues where an undercover cop is chasing a suspect.
Get away! Get away from me, man!
Come on, get out of
Come
here!
on, all I said took us
Get out of there! I'm a cop! Come on!
This brings us to the third golden age of television. It first starts with premium cable and streaming networks. They freed writers and producers from the constraints of major networks. Thanks to the proliferation of TV channels, online distribution options, and independent production companies are taking risks and serving up innovative content, said Matt Smith with an article for Adweek. Now we are delivering content to audiences and not audiences to advertisers. Streaming networks further this idea, giving the viewer the choice of when and where they want to watch TV without advertisements, also how many episodes they want to watch in one sitting. Next comes the shows themselves. They have such a high quality production, it's as if you're watching a film. The framing, angles, camera movements, costumes, and props. It gives the shows an authentic feel. Take this scene from Breaking Bad as an example. It's also great for time period shows like Boardwalk Empire and Mad Men. Now looking behind the cinematic scenes of the shows, there are complex narratives with multiple plots and dysfunctional characters. When helping to create the show House of Cards, Kevin Spacey said, "We wanted to start to tell a story that would take a long time to tell. We were creating a sophisticated, multi-layered story with complex characters who reveal themselves over time and relationships that would take space to play out." With TV, they are able to go far deeper than a 2-hour movie. They have over 100 hours to portray the impact of events on the bodies and minds of the characters, said Hollywood director Steven Soderbergh. This is not only what is making Hollywood's biggest actors, directors, and producers come to television, but it's how to keep the viewers interested. They watch the characters develop over time with adding them to their daily routine. This makes them become involved in the story and almost attached to the characters. You can see this in watching the fans' reactions of the supposed death of Glenn from The Walking Dead. Within these complex narratives, they have created a new main character, the anti-hero. Burt Martin, a TV critic, explains them as difficult men who challenged audiences' expectations of a main character, such as Tony Soprano, The Wire's Omar Little, Dexter's Dexter Morgan, Mad Men's Don Draper, and Breaking Bad's Walter White. These were complicated male leads whose actions can be described as morally ambiguous at best, and not only have viewers tuned in to watch, but they actually root for them, questionable behavior and all. I'm sure there are many more characteristics of the third golden age of television, but I wanted to touch on the ones that I thought were the most significant. We have come a long way with programming, so I hope you set aside some time and enjoy this golden age of television.